Hi folks, Jared here, owner at Willys-Overland Motors. Today we're going to be giving you an in-depth look at our exclusive product, the Repli-Tub, and showing you why the Repli-Tub is the most user-friendly and high-quality replacement Jeep body tub on the market for your vintage Jeep project. Our current Repli-Tub lineup consists of military models from 1941 to 1971, including the MB, GPW, M38, and M38A1. The CJ lineup, going from 1945 through the end in 1986, including models CJ2A, CJ3A, CJ3B, early CJ5, intermediate CJ5, late CJ5, early CJ6, intermediate CJ6, our US assembled CJ7, and the CJ8 Scrambler. We now also offer our US assembled Wrangler YJ tub for 1987 to 1995 models. As you enjoy today's video, you will see 4 of our Repli-Tubs, keeping in mind that the work we do on all of our Repli-Tubs is similar to the models shown in these videos. So be sure to listen to the beginning of each clip so that you can see which model we're showing in the video corresponds to the model of Jeep you are working on. Now we hope that you will sit back, relax, enjoy the video today, and see why there is no other choice for a replacement body tub for your Jeep project than one that comes from Willys-Overland Motors. The first tub we'll be showing you is our CJ7 Repli-Tub, assembled right in our shop in Pennsylvania. Everything you see on this CJ7 is very similar to our US assembled YJ tub as well. Starting up front on the firewall, you will see that all original holes are in place in the correct location and at the correct size, even down to the welded threads for your steering column mount. Your gas pedal, all holes are in place for the brake booster and master cylinder and wire harness pass-through. You'll notice the closed knockout for a hydraulic clutch master cylinder. We will drill that should you tell us that you will be using a hydraulic clutch. The dimple and square hole is in place for the throttle cable. All necessary holes are in place for the heater hoses, heater motor, heater box mounting, and the welded nuts are in place for the battery tray. The optional hole is there for air conditioning, should you choose to install it. The holes are in place for the windshield hinge pivots and doors. You'll notice the Jeep stamp on the side panel. And all correct ribs, holes, and threads are in place on the front floor. These floors do have the extended floor opening, and the roll bar mounts are in place on the waterfall piece as well as on the wheel tub. All the correct holes with threads are installed on the rear floor, and the holes are in the side panels for the hardtop. Fender flare holes are installed, and taking you around the rear of the tub, the hole for the fuel filler, taillight wire harness, and taillight mounts, as well as the rear tire carrier swing out, are also installed, as are the tailgate cable mounts and the captured nuts for the tailgate hinges. As you can see, the quality of these tubs are truly unmatched, and why you can't beat assembled right in our shop. We will now show you the underside of this CJ7 Repli-Tub. You can now see the underside of our CJ7 Repli-Tub, and you will notice the attention to detail is just as clear on the bottom as it is on the top. All cage nuts are in their correct location as would be found on an original body. guaranteeing fitment to an original unmodified CJ7 or YJ chassis. You'll also notice the original toe boards in place, all braces and cross members as would be found on an original body, and even splash shields installed in the correct location, with the baffles in place for the roll bar strength. Truly, you will not find any better option for your CJ7 or YJ project than our US assembled CJ7 and YJ Repli-Tubs. Here we're showing you the underside of our CJ3B Repli-Tub. Everything we will show you in this underside walk around is what you will find on our MB, GPW, M38, CJ2A, CJ3A, and of course the CJ3B. All of our tubs come into our shop and start upside down. We have jigs that show all of the mounting locations and where they should be on the underside of the tub. You can see where some of these holes have been drilled. All holes that are in the hat channels on our tubs are not only drilled to the correct size in the floor, 3/8 of an inch, but they also have a welded-in crush sleeve. Folks that have been working on Jeeps for many years know that these channels on both the original bodies and on our Repli-Tubs are filled with wood. Mounting it originally will have the wood shrink over time and the bolts loosen. With our crush sleeves, you can tighten the bolts as tight as you'd like and never have to worry about a bolt coming loose. As we continue our walk around on the underside of the tub, you will see that we have installed the holes for both the fuel tank line and drain in their correct location. And you will also see the hole for the PTO cover, and both the transmission and transfer case shifter holes have been relocated to their correct location to ensure proper fitment and clearance. Other areas where you will see a slightly discolored primer are other areas where we have been. We make sure to clean up all of the edges and lips on each one of these tubs to make sure that they have a factory appearance on them. Next, we'll flip the tub over and show you what we do on the top side. Now we will show you around the top side of our flat fender Repli-Tubs. Once the tub is on the table, the first step we do is install all of the necessary holes in the driver's side floor. The hole for the gas pedal, brake pedal, steering column, clutch pedal, and high beam switch are all installed. You'll see that the holes are oval shaped for the brake pedal and clutch pedal, just as they were on an original Jeep. Just as we showed you on the underside, the holes for the fuel tank line and drain are installed. An original gas tank is test fit to ensure proper clearance. We also weld in the brackets for the original fuel tank strap, both in the center of the body as well as on the side panel. Once that is complete, we go around to the rear of the tub. All of our tubs equipped with tailgates come with tailgate hinges. These hinges are cleaned and resized for proper fitment. If you purchase a tailgate with your Repli-Tub, the tailgate is test fit to ensure proper clearance, and so no further adjustments are needed. If you do not purchase a tailgate with your Repli-Tub, we have test fitter tailgates that we use. You will also see that the holes for the wire pass-through on both sides of the taillights are present. Optional on our CJ2A, CJ3A, and CJ3B Repli-Tubs are the top bolt brackets. This customer plans to install an original canvas top on this Jeep. So, at no additional charge, we installed the top bolt brackets for this customer, both in the front and in the rear. The next step is to ensure the toolbox lid has proper clearance. All of our flat fender models, when necessary, do have the toolbox on the floor if they originally came with one. We make sure that the lid closes and opens with proper clearance. And you can see there are no contact points on this one. You will also be able to take another look at the relocated transmission and transfer case shifter holes. We challenge anybody to tell us where the original holes were. This change is truly seamless. The last step on our CJ3B Repli-Tub, as well as our other flat fender models, is to ensure that original gauges will fit the holes with ease. The holes are resized when necessary to make sure that an original gauge will fit in all 5 holes. We also install the key switch hole. As you can see, the quality on our flat fender Repli-Tubs is unmatched and truly the best option for your vintage Jeep project. Next, we will take you around an early CJ5 Repli-Tub. Here you see the underside of our early CJ5 Repli-Tub. This covers years 1955 to early 1970. However, everything you see here is very similar to our late 1970 to 1971 CJ5 Repli-Tub, as well as our 1972 to 1975 CJ5 Repli-Tub. As many Jeep enthusiasts know, these tubs are almost identical to CJ6 tubs of their respective years, just with extensions. Similar to our flat fender Repli-Tubs, and as you saw earlier in the video on our CJ3B, all of the mounting locations are installed in their correct location to allow seamless installation on original unmodified chassis. Now, one thing you may notice on this crossmember here, for example, is that the mounting holes are not centered in the crossmember on the body. That is certainly no reason to be worried. We can assure you that the mounting points are in the correct location to allow for the proper reveal against the rear bumper on the chassis. The Philippine bodies do have some variation in crossmember locations, and that is why you see this. However, on the rest of the tub, you will notice that all factory bracing, crossmembers, and floor cutouts are in place in their correct locations. For those of you who have used early CJ5 Philippine bodies before, this is a common issue where the clutch pedal, which would come through this hole right here, interferes with this hat channel. However, our hat channels are trimmed to ensure proper clearance of the clutch pedal. We will now flip this body over so you can see everything that is unique to the Willys-Overland Repli-Tub on the top side. Now that we have the tub right side up, we will show you around all of our Repli-Tub modifications on the top side. Now, one thing to keep in mind during this video, this customer has opted for certain options that may not be found on every version of early CJ5. For example, this tub is going on a Jeep with the Oddfire Buick V6, which does require certain changes from a Jeep that is going to be equipped with the F134 four-cylinder. So we will be sure to ask you about the options of your Jeep that the body is going on at the time of ordering. Starting with the rear, you can see that we have drilled the holes for the taillight wire harness pass-through, as well as the reverse lights. Just as you saw on our CJ3B Repli-Tub, these tailgate hinges have been cleaned and shaped to the correct original size, and the tailgate this customer is purchasing has been pre-adjusted right in our shop. Now, just as we had mentioned when we were looking at the bottom, this tub is for a 1955 to 1970 CJ5 and is equipped with the underseat gas tank. So the fuel filler neck is in place, as well as the holes for the fuel tank line and drain. Should you have a late 1970 or 1971 CJ5, these holes would not be in place, and the fuel filler hole would be installed on the right rear tail panel. The shifter holes are in place and in their correct location, and you will see that the holes for the brake pedal, steering column, clutch pedal, and high beam switch have been installed. The V6 model does not use the gas pedal hole in that location, as does the F-134, where that hole would be installed right here. You will see that the cover plate is included and the hole is installed for the brake master cylinder check. A new dash panel is included. Coming around to the front side, this lip has been trued and cleaned to bring back to a factory appearance. The holes are in place on the cowl for the hood hinges, with threads installed. The brackets are installed to hold up the grill rods that would be running to the front grill radiator support. On the firewall, as the Philippine bodies come, they are incorrect for both the early and intermediate CJ5s. We correct that in our shop. This customer has told us that he plans to install the original firewall mounted heater that you would find on a 1955 to 1971 CJ5. So the large cutouts have been installed, as well as all of the mounting holes. The hole is also installed for the wire harness pass-through, including the 1/8-inch holes to hold the factory original metal grommet. This is a hole that is installed in the Philippines and is incorrect. We weld it shut. The holes are also put in for the heater cable and for the emergency brake cable. Hole is added in for the speedometer cable as well. And moving over to the passenger side, since this is a V6 equipped Jeep, the battery tray is mounted on the firewall. And we do install the 3 necessary holes to hold up the battery tray. Again, should you have an F-134 in your early CJ5, those holes would not be installed as the battery mounts on the frame. The holes are installed to mount the fender and are opened to a larger size to allow for more adjustment room. Finally, these tubs are equipped with the toolbox under the seat, just as you would have found originally on all 1955 through 1975 CJ5 Repli-Tubs. Here you can see the underside of our CJ8 Repli-Tub, also known as the Scrambler. Keep in mind that almost all of the work that you see us do on this CJ8 Repli-Tub will be found on our 1976 to 1983 late CJ5. Just as our other Repli-Tubs, our CJ8s start out in the shop upside down. You will see that all of the cage nuts, as were found on original CJ8 tubs, are found in our Repli-Tubs. Proper location is ensured in all mounting points. You will also notice, similar to our other Repli-Tubs, all edges and lips have been cleaned to bring these tubs back to a factory original appearance. The same goes for the shifter hole. All edges are cleaned and brought back to OEM appearance. All channels are in place in their correct locations, allowing for seamless and proper installation. We will now put our CJ8 Repli-Tub on the table right side up so you can see all of the things we do on the top side. Now that we have our scrambler flipped over and on the table, you can get a look at the top side. You'll see that all of the necessary holes are in place in the firewall, not only in their correct location, but to the correct size. We ensure that the wire harness pass-through hole is opened up large enough to accept the original fuse panel. All of the holes are cleaned for the brake booster and master cylinder, as is the hole for the steering column. The hole is opened up to the correct size for the throttle cable, and the holes are installed for both the battery tray and the heater box assembly. The holes for the heater motor and heater hoses are also opened up to the correct size. You will notice that this customer is not installing air conditioning, so we use the factory style air conditioning cover plate. And this customer's Jeep is also equipped with an automatic transmission, so the factory style plug for the clutch linkage is installed. As we take you around to the inside of the Jeep, you'll see that the holes are in place for the seat mounts and drains. This model of tub does come with a new dash panel. The hole is installed for the emergency brake cable, and underneath the dash, the bracket for the emergency brake mechanism. The correct gussets are in place, as are the holes for the roll bar, both in the front and in the rear. The tail panel brackets are also installed and have the necessary provisions for your tailgate cables. And around back, the holes for the wire harness pass-through for both tail lights and the fuel filler hole are all installed. The captured nuts for the tailgate hinges are chased with the proper thread size and are in place. We hope you enjoyed the video today and now see why Willys-Overland Motors is truly the experts when it comes to replacement body tubs for vintage Jeeps. If you have any questions or would like to order a Repli-Tub for your own, please be sure to reach out to us via phone at 570-955-9331 or via email at info@willysoverland.com. You can also use the Contact Us tab on our website, willysoverland.com, and directly message us there. Thank you again for watching. We look forward to working with you, and happy Jeeping.